Hola amigos, sean bienvenidos una vez más a su programa Hoppy.
Es en
¿Aguanta,
inglés,
Saúl?
vato. Es en inglés.
Oh, ¿es
¿Qué
en inglés?
pasó?
Ah, sí,
Acuérdate que
cierto.
estamos en tour. No podemos hablar de que en portugués, entonces vamos a tener que hablar en inglés, hermano.
Oh, es
Hey,
verdad. Sorry,
guys.
sorry, guys.
How's
Welcome
it going?
everyone to this new episode of Hoppy Hour, now in English. This
This
is
is our
kind of weird.
second episode.
Second episode
Second
in English?
episode. Yeah, remember we talked with Daniel in English?
Nah, it was in
And it's easy to
Spanglish.
have Spanglish. We're not going to do Portuguese, English, Spanish.
For, for to Portunglish, Brazil English. I don't know. Maybe they
The
can.
Mexicanish.
Yeah, they have the correct term, but this is our first stop on this Latin America tour. We're really excited. A little bit nervous because we don't tend to do this in English, but we're excited and we're ready for this. How are you feeling, Saul?
I'm feeling pretty confident. Mostly nothing. I want to welcome both our new members. They're part of the Zipdev team. And honestly, I don't know about you, Luis, but I've seen some aggressive expansion of Zipdev as a company by hiring people all over Latin America. And having two people from Brazil definitely will show us that what Zipdev is made of, right? So without further ado, I think it's appropriate to invite them on. So welcome, Diego. Welcome, Victor.
Hey guys, how
Hey,
are
what's
you?
up?
Hello, it's a pleasure to be here. Yeah, we're happy to be here.
Nice.
So before we start, I would love to talk about a little bit more about you guys. So you guys are both based in Brazil, right? If I'm not mistaken, Diego, you're in Sao Paulo, right?
Yep, yeah, that's it.
And Victor, where are you located?
I'm living in Rio de Janeiro.
In Rio de Janeiro. So you guys are based off the most popular two places in Brazil currently, right? Those are like the
Yeah,
hotspots.
actually, yeah.
Awesome, awesome.
How are carnivals? How are parties over there?
The
São Paulo
carnival.
doesn't have too much of that, so I think Vitor should answer.
I think the people of São Paulo comes to Rio in the carnival just to get shot or something. I'm
You can't
kidding.
say that, man. We're live.
Oh,
Rio's
sorry.
beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, what if you guys present yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself. I mean, we have the summary, but let's hear from you guys. What's your background? What is your stock? And what are you working on right now? Uh, Obviously, don't say anything confidential. But what are you talking? What are you working on right now with Zipdev? And how much are you liking it or hating it? Just be honest.
Yeah, so hey everyone, my name is Diego. I have joined Zipdev, I guess, 1.5 months ago. Before I worked in a couple places, but mostly I have been working before as an aircraft software engineer for 5 years. And then I got the opportunity to join Zipdev, and here I am. I have been working for an US-based company called Accent through Zipdev, so it's been awesome, amazing experience. Zipdev really knew how to use the remote work, so it's been awesome. Like, everybody's nice, you guys are awesome, so it's really cool to be here. Really happy to be here.
Thank you for being here. And I'm glad that you're liking working here in Zipdev. But how about you, Victor? Same thoughts
Yeah,
or not?
yeah, same thoughts, but you know that I joined the same company as Diego, the same client of Zipdev, and actually he does the most difficult job, difficult work. I am part of the easiest one. Like, I add a label on screen, do this kind of stuff. Meanwhile,
So
Diego, like, yeah,
you're a front-end developer?
I actually full stack,
And
but I deal with
full
Python
stack.
most of the times in this client. Meanwhile, Diego works with C++ and all the bytes and bits, this
No,
kind
so
of stuff.
I have to say that no, that's not true. I have been learning a lot of Python with Victor. The thing is, just because it's C++, everybody think it's hard, but it's not really hard. It's just C++. It's not too pretty.
Just another language,
Yeah.
a more primitive language, but just another language.
Yeah. Nobody likes it, but it's cool. It's fast.
Nobody likes it.
I think
I mean,
there's a bunch of people that like it, but I mean, they're the OG guys, like, you know.
Yeah, I have
yeah, yeah.
another friend that he used to say that people who know C++ suffered so much to get to know C++ that now they have to say it's good and they like it. So I think I'm part of those people. It's been
So
years,
What
man.
is like,
I have to say it's good.
what is like that really? I forgot the term in English, but there's like this relationship where someone, let's say, is abusive to the other one, but the other one falls in love because like of psychological
Oh,
dependency.
it's
It sounds kind of like that.
yeah, it's
Like a
Stockholm
toxic-
syndrome. I have
Yeah,
no
yeah.
idea if
Syndrome,
that is
yeah.
in English. Yeah, yeah, it's exactly that. Yeah, people will say C++ is cool. It's because they know and they suffered a lot.
But what are you using to build C++? Are you using it to build some like hardware based software like for microcontrollers, or are you actually using it for backend development on the web?
So I don't know. I guess that's I don't know how much I can say, but this is
Yeah.
like the on the
Take
web page
care.
of Accent, so I think it's cool.
Okay, so it's
Yeah,
hosted.
it's what we do mostly. Accent works with it's called business continuity and disaster recovery, which I didn't know the term until then, but what it is like, and it's getting really usual, unfortunately. But the thing is, imagine you have like your company and you have like a lot of servers and you have a host infrastructure, and then you get attacked by a ransomware. So what Zipdev does, sorry, Accent does, it provides softwares that are able to back up your data, but in like a much more sophisticated way. So like, imagine you have like, I don't know, 10 terabytes of data, like very important data, and you have like a server that's running, and you got attacked by a ransomware or your servers got on fire. I don't know. What Accent can do is like as soon as you're able to download the data, it's able to provide like a virtual machine with the whole server working and booting. And there's a lot of solutions in that way. Like there's one that's really cool. We don't work directly with it, but it's awesome. That's, imagine, Google Drive or OneDrive, when you have it on your computer, you have like a folder that syncs with the cloud. So they have a solution. It's just like that, but has like lots of tiers of security. So, oh wait, I want the last version of the same file. I want this file like from a couple months ago. So it's really cool. It's this
Cool.
kind of stuff. So C++ is
So-
more like to play with the file system, those things that nobody wants to do.
Well, yeah, it's way faster, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so
Actually,
so when you were introduced here in Zipdev, they said you were escalation engineers.
yeah.
So what's that about? Is that what you're saying right now?
Yeah.
I myself, I say we are software engineers. What do you think, Victor?
Yeah, but I think the position is escalation engineer
Yeah.
because we escalate the software. No.
Yeah.
I
Like-
think it's because we're working in the support, like tier 3 or 4, level 4 in support, and every problem that is way too hard to solve just looking logs and try to troubleshoot something, and scale to us, they send to us because we have access to the code, not because we're better than them, but just only because we have the access to the code. So what we do is try to solve these harder problems. That's why we're escalation engineers.
Like the
Yeah.
problems that just escalated to you or to you guys, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought that it was something that I was missing, something, I don't know, another kind of role that I didn't know about, another technology or something like that. But that's good to know. I mean,
Yeah,
glad
we
I
do like regular development too, but a lot of the time we're on escalation. So yeah, it's just like Victor said.
Yeah, and guys, so that's I find something super interesting. So when Zipdev started, it was mostly located on border cities, right? And now we are how many countries I think Zipdev has invaded? We're reaching
it's
12
invaded.
countries, I think. And like in our pre-talk, you guys mentioned you work with a lot of Russians, right? A lot of your developers are based in Russia. So how does it feel? Because I don't know of your previous experiences, but how does it feel working with such a global team? Because 10 years ago, that was not even possible. Now we've got people like us four. We're both located with different clients. We're both based on the same company. And you have other teammates in Russia. And so many people are working. The product is getting done. The product is being completed. And how have you guys felt working in such a modern?
Yeah, so that's awesome, and it's really, really awesome because before on my last job, I did have like customers in around the world, so and like service providers, but it's really different because like then I always was like really formal. I would say, "Dear Mr. X, your solicitation," so stuff like that. And now with remote and like with through Zipdev and working for like open-minded US companies, we have been able to work with people, like actually work with people from a lot of countries. So guys from Asia, guys from Europe, and it's different. It's not that dear Mr. X, I need help. It's like, hey guy, like I don't know, Dimitri, man, I need help. This is my code. What can I do? So it's really, really awesome to be able to like actually work, have colleagues, developers too that are on the other side of the world. Like you call people and it's like midnight there. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, we act like a team, a real team. Even the location are totally different. Diego said that because some guys of support on level 3, for example, they are awake like in 3 a.m. or midnight because they have like turns, and we help each other. And I think it's a trending of this new word, like, and you can work remotely from every country, from home, which is the
Settings.
best.
Yeah, and get access to more quality developers, in my opinion, because when I saw that even in Mexico and in the States, when the work's too localized, you're limited to the amount of quality developers you can get, right? Because you might get 2 quality developers per 1,000 people, and if your marketplace is 1,000 or 1,000,000 civilians, that means you can only get from those 1,000,000 civilians 1,000 developers distributed by end companies. So your chances of actually getting good people to in your job is reduced to 1, 2, 3 developers that you might even hire or might not even hire. And now we're seeing that all over the world, there's quality developers, and all over the world, a lot of people speak the common language of English, right? And there's obviously different levels, but communication-wise and work-wise, it's enough English that people can get actually to get into the project, get set, and have effective communication, right? And I don't know about you guys, but I use Grammarly a lot when I got the Slack plugin for Grammarly, and it looks like I speak even better English.
I
Yeah.
use Urban Dictionary
Oh,
mostly.
Urban Dictionary is awesome.
You know, to
uh,
talk with the slang, to go with the flow.
yeah,
Hmm.
we mostly spend the time with other developers, so it's like with clothing, they don't really matter too much. So okay, we understood our English, it's perfect.
Hmm.
But overall, it's awesome, and it's really cool.
Yes,
Yeah,
nice.
but a nice thing, I'm not entering in the issue of the pandemics, but it was good because it allows the companies of hiring people of the whole world. Because in Brazil, for example, the companies didn't hire people outside their own area. Like now, I have friends doing interviews for Portugal or Spain, for example. I have a friend that is going to the east side of Europe. I think next month. It's related good. This kind of training of globalization.
Yeah, and as a developer, it gives you like a good experience because you learn new ways to work, you learn new cultures, maybe you learn new design patterns, something more technical that you didn't know about because it's more common in another country or something like that, you know. So
Yeah.
I think that's really cool that you like here in Zipdev. I think everyone that's being hired for Zipdev is working with directly with the client and their team. So you tend to meet people from a lot of places, and I think that's really cool. That's what I loved when I entered. I actually posted a screenshot of my first international call when I worked here in Zipdev. We had someone in Brazil, someone in Russia, someone in New York, and I think someone in San Diego. I mean, 4 or 5 different cities where we were working from,
Yeah,
and I mean I think that's awesome. That's really cool just to get to know more people globally.
yeah, definitely a super unique experience. And guys, now that you brought up Brazil, I'm very curious to talk about the Brazilian tech scene because Mexico has getting a lot of news that Brazil, new unicorn company, from 100 mil got a 2.2 billion dollar valuation, and we've seen a lot of companies that are reaching Mexico. Like I don't know if you guys know, if iFood, that's
Yeah,
already in
yeah,
Mexico.
Hmm.
Pago Seguro, that's already in Mexico. Lot, the app where you can like buy and rent apartments,
yeah,
that's already here in Mexico. And last year, I saw news that New Bank
New
went from
bank.
like a yeah like a 2 point something million evaluation to a 1.3 billion
yeah.
evaluation. So what's going on down there? Why are we seeing this unicorn evaluations, and why are we seeing companies like from Silicon Valley companies putting their offices in Sao Paulo and Rio? What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I think Brazil, like for many years now, we had like a very strong like basis to build, like get new developers to the market. I myself, I am I wasn't like part of one of the top Brazilian colleges, but even so, like everywhere you go, you see like people, brilliant people, like with all different types of education and stuff in Brazil, like doing awesome code, like building great products. And I guess those people start trying to get their own companies going. So you have a lot of, and that's the term I always like it is unicorns. So you have a lot of unicorn companies doing amazing stuff, like getting to other countries, like in all around the world, uh, having success. And it's awesome to see like Brazilians doing that. So I think the tech scene here was always good, but now we're seeing like the fruits of that.
Yeah, I think some years ago, the people was a little stuck with the technology, you know. But the new generation, like the young people, are getting to the study, because every day there's a new JavaScript and library and something new that in new people like I have a friend who has like 20 years, and he gets everything in a blink of eye, because everything is so easy to find and to learn. There's like thousands of um, video lessons online. I think that the people in Brazil now and they turn on their alerts on their heads and starting to dig in this new technology, just to get into this new fintechs like Nubank and Uber, for example. The young people are aiming in these companies right now.
Yeah, we're also there's this new Bitcoin company that also Mercado Bitcoin that I think the total funding was $200 million, and it's also Brazilian. And I think with countries like China and countries like the United States pouring money into Brazil as a Latin American gateway, you guys are ahead of the market when it comes to unicorn startups. So, as developers, how is the like? Let's say I'm a new developer, as you mentioned. I'm 20 years old. I'm talented. React, I got it in 2 weeks. I want to learn Vue.js, 1 week. And I know I'm exaggerating with the time frames, but I got a lot of experience. I'm talented.
I wish I was like you, so.
Yeah.
Where, this is a hypothetical. What would be my next steps? Let's say I'm located in one of your two cities. As a young developer, what would be my next steps in Brazil? Would I try to look jobs outside of Brazil, or there's good enough opportunities with good wages locally? How do you guys feel about
Go ahead, Peter.
I would say that the companies inside Brazil, they are looking into these guys who knows and are interested just in the new technology, because there are many startups and fintechs running and out of these minds that knows this new technology. But there are two older companies that has much legacy code. So there are markets for older developers to work with, like older C#, for example, and like Java, the old Java, and so on. I think, but the most companies in Brazil are interested just in the new technologies. So if you're a new guy looking for a job, you can learn something, like not in 2 weeks, but 1 month perhaps, and you get a nice paid job in Brazil if you know the right stack.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Vitor was going to say old technologies like C++, but he didn't because I was here. Yeah, I knew it.
So both Diego
but I agree,
and Victor, what technologies would you recommend to young Brazilians, or not only young Latin Americans who are getting into the tech scene? Let's say I'm 15 years old and I want to get a job soon because I want to study, and I got my 300 pesos and I want to buy some Udemy courses. Which courses would you guys recommend? Because you seem to guys have different strengths, right? So maybe start Victor, and then Diego, if you want to follow up.
Oh, sure. I would recommend, like, start with, if you know how to develop something, or if you know algorithm, I'll recommend totally React.js for web development and React Native as mobile development, because I've seen like thousands of companies looking for developers who knows it. And also Daniel asked me if I knew React Native for some reason. I
Yeah,
want to
here
send a hug for him. Hey
here
Daniel.
on Zipdev, we were looking for like 5 new React Native developers. So
Hmm.
yeah, we
Yeah,
can see
I
that.
think it's good. And another interesting thing is that in Brazil, the colleges, at least in Rio de Janeiro, they are changing the initial language because back in the day, they used to apply C and C++ in the first year to just introduce the algorithm. But now they're teaching with Python. So the student already know Python, which is a great opportunity to work in later, you know?
Yeah. So
Now that you
sorry, go ahead, please.
now that you talk about college, I wanted to ask how is how are universities on Brazil, and how was like your experience learning technology or learning languages? Because here in Mexico, it's a common complaint that there's not that much level on languages per se. I mean, you can learn a lot of stuff, but for programming, you don't. There's not that high level. So, what if you ask? I think 90% of graduated say that they learned everything by themselves. So, how is that in Brazil?
Yeah, from what I saw and I hear from my colleagues, I think it's pretty much the same. Like in college, you get a good foundation, but I usually well, I don't hear and I didn't see like actual high quality code being made in classes, I guess. I I, I don't know, maybe it's because there isn't enough time or maybe because the teachers themselves maybe don't know. But yeah, it's pretty much the same.
Yeah,
Well,
I think
at least you are evolving into new languages or more, or languages that are better to learn, like Python you mentioned, right? Because here I think it's a mix. You can find whatever languages, but I think the most common is Java and C sharp here in Mexico.
I think the strong point of my college at least was the algorithm part was strong because they wanted the student to learn how to think about the instructions. So I learned in my college using C, like all the structs and the the queue,
Like
these things. Yeah.
stuff like pointers
Yeah.
and yeah,
But yeah, I agree because 90% failed in programming. So I think I was one of 10 persons who followed the develop stack or develop way, if it exists. Because the other one, they went to like testing or something else like management
yeah,
or analysis.
Yeah, so it's I think it's pretty similar here in Mexico.
similar.
Then I don't know if
Because
you have
for me
another.
personally, we started like college here. We started out with C, and it was 1 year of C. Then it was 1 year of Java,
Hmm.
2 years of Java, and then you're like, okay, we're getting finally we're out of pointers. We're getting into structures. We're getting into classes, and then they throw everything out the window, and then we go into assembly, bro.
Oh,
Oh my God.
I'm like, dude, we went back 20 years. Where can I apply this? And I think that's just a problem with our current, maybe not, maybe not only Latin America, but I think worldwide, that technology goes so fast.
hmm.
As you mentioned, Victor, there's a new JavaScript framework every day, and schools have to create a program. It has to get approved by the board. It has to last at least 5 years. But in the tech scene, 5 years, you're a grandpa. So
and
Yeah.
and
like,
they have to add books right to the
Yeah.
classes. and you know those books you just read them and they are outdated already. So
Uh-huh.
it's really annoying. But
So
I
for
mean
you,
this.
for you, Diego, what tech stacks and what systems or what technologies do you recommend as a young Latin America trying to break into the industry?
Don't
Because
say
Victor
C++. Don't
mentioned
say
said
C++.
You know, I won't say C++.
not
It's
Slytherin.
evil. But man, it's funny because like I had a went to a technical school for like IT and then to college. But now, like with the pandemic, I'm having friends like from very different areas. I have one friend that he was like a PE teacher, you know, physical education, and he started developing like he was a personal trainer at the time, but he got out of his job, and his girlfriend, fiance maybe, said, "Hey, I work with this. Take a look," and he started developing. And this guy is now working like professionally. So it's really cool. I think maybe the first thing I would think is like, what do I want to do? Because I myself, I really like backend. I like having to worry about performance and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool for me. So for people similarly, I would suggest Python maybe. But if you like making a web page or application, you got like the guy thinks about the interface, the user experience. So maybe I'm old, so I would say go with JavaScript and then trying to find a framework. But yeah,
Funny because he says he's old and he looks like the youngest one, right?
Yeah.
cameraman is the best camera ever.
So
It
I,
poses
I
that
think
filter, so I look beautiful.
Diego's guys who are watching. Diego's 29, and I'm
Yeah.
26, and I look 31, and he looks 19.
Yeah,
It's
and
the
I look
camera,
like 40,
I
but
swear.
well,
So I want to take a small break to read the comments. I don't know how you feel about that, Luis. Not many questions, but
yeah.
Alessandra says, hello, guys. Hello, Alessandra. Jimena Renteria says, nice and wow. Much love sent to Jimena. Najib feels like IBM. Yeah, IBM did open a research center in Brazil, in both actually Sao Paulo and Rio de Janeiro. The, you guys, I think they're developing like AI, cloud systems, and stuff like that, right?
I think IBM is like pretty, uh, how can I say, like, I don't want to say old, but it's we have IBM in São Paulo like from in Rio too, like for many years. So they have a lot of cool projects. I have a friend that works there, like have been working for more than 10 years. He says awesome things about them.
I tried to enter in IBM when I was in college. I failed.
Do they
Yeah.
do like a test to get in, like the typical programmer test and stuff like that?
Yeah, but there's like several phases. Like you have a test, then you have like a group dynamic, like doing stuff in a new interview. I got into this last interview, but there was this other guy who was very eloquent. I was very introvert and shy, so I didn't get it.
I know we cannot make you stop talking, man. What happened?
Yeah.
Just kidding.
You're
There's
right.
another comment from Alfredo Garza that says, "Cheers, guys." So let's
Hey, Alfredo.
Cheers.
Just to that.
cheers. Mm, and also Ceci, one of our recruiters, says, "Hi, guys." So hello, Ceci. Glad you're
Hello.
here. Um, and let's invite the other people that are there in watching the live. You can ask your own questions if you have some doubts on how Latin America is on tech, on the tech ecosystem, or more specific, how are things in Brazil. You can shoot them in the comments, and we can read them out. Um,
Yeah, if
yeah, go ahead.
just echoing what you said. Comment, guys. Come on, ask me questions. Don't be shy.
Yeah. So, I don't know. What are your expectations here in, let's say, in Zipdev, or not in Zipdev, but on your projects? What are your, I don't know, your objectives in the future? What do you want to do after working in this project? How do you see yourself in 5 years? I don't know.
Oh, I, I think one thing that's really cool about Zipdev is like I have friends that have been working like for other companies through a company like similarly to what we do through Zipdev, but it's like they get hired and then they are by themselves, and that's very different in Zipdev. Like here we have like people checking up on us. We have cool like programs like this one and get-togethers and stuff. And I there's one uh like program in Zipdev which I love is that is the continuous learning, which
Mm,
like the company invites us to get better like in that subject we understand are it's cool, it's necessary. So I guess for myself I really like it, and I'm using it to get better at being a software engineer. So I just love doing this. So I think I for now I just want to get better and be a strong component of my team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I am with Diego.
So just to comment on that, for the ones that are listening or watching us, the if you want to work in Zipdev and you're like, whatever, what else can I get from them? We have that continuous learning program where you actually get paid for learning new technologies. So that's really cool because you choose what you want to learn, and you actually get paid for it. So it's like a
yeah.
bonus, and that's really cool. So go
So you
ahead,
don't get
Victor.
left behind because sometimes when you're in a company, and I don't remember if it was you, Diego, or Victor who said it, that you spend too much time in a company, and then you get so used to their tech stack, and when you switch jobs, you feel like you're outdated, right?
Yeah.
So with the continuous learning program, honestly, it keeps you up to date, and you're getting paid to learn. So
Yeah, oh, it's awesome.
um,
So
I
so
have
Victor,
one more
now
comment that I think it's awesome.
I think
Oh,
let's have Victor to answer the same question as
Sure.
Diego. What are your expectations? And then we go to the comment. So
Oh, sure. I agree with Diego because I think we have plenty space to grow up. Because when I entered in this client, for example, uh, in the former company, I was like senior, but when I got into this, when I met the Russian guys and the other guys on the team, I'm like the below the intern. I'm below the trainee or something because I saw that I know nothing about nothing.
let's hope
Because
your client isn't here, because
yeah,
Yeah. No, but Vitor is too humble, man. He
yeah,
has been teaching me a lot about Python, but I get the feeling because we have a lot of cool people working with us, like from the US, from a lot of places. But there are a couple guys from Russia, man. Those guys are brilliant. Like
same. Yeah,
when they talk with us about code is awesome because it's like, man, I want to get as good as this guy. And they are much older and have a lot of experience. But yeah, I know the feeling that those guys are awesome. So
yeah.
they make
yeah,
you
I
feel
think
like
when I was saying I was thinking about getting to their level.
yeah, they make you feel like you're a noob, right?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
but no, Vitor is just being humble, man. He knows a lot of stuff. On
Yeah,
my
and
first few days, he was explaining how part of the Python code base worked because I had no idea.
Thanks, Diego. I will
sorry.
pay you
Go ahead.
money.
Oh, my little nephew wants to say hi.
Yeah.
It's live. Say hi. Yeah. Yeah.
hi.
Hi.
I'm babysitting, guys. Those who don't know.
Cool.
Nice.
So, a pretty cool comment that Najib Fields, he's actually a pretty big economist here in Baja California. He's looking at the show. Shout out to Najib. He's based in Deloitte. So he makes this comment. Now that you guys know how college is in Brazil, would you go back to learn how to code, or would you learn it by yourself if you had the time to go back in time? Or you had the chance to go back in time?
I have to think.
Let's see.
If you want,
I don't
I
know,
can
like-
I can ask that. I can answer that because I
Yeah, go
actually
ahead.
was reading a post from a friend of mine on Facebook later today. I mean earlier today. Sorry, I'm a native Spanish speaking. Uh, so I was reading that comment that he said that how many times have you been asked for your actual college degree, and a lot of people said that never, because
Yeah.
I mean that doesn't prove what you know, you know. So it proves that you went to college, but doesn't prove that you actually learned what you saw in college. So I always thought of it because yeah, I've never been asked for my college degree, and I think that's really cool because it opens for people who cannot afford a formal education. I mean, he can learn by himself, and we actually met someone who did that. Saul, if you remember him, uh, he was someone who was a homeless actually, and he learned how to code by himself. And he then worked here in Zipdev. He worked with American clients, and he's now breaking it, and he's living remotely on a lot of places.
Yeah, I think he has
That's
got
awesome.
married, right?
Yeah,
Nice.
Just got married and stuff like
Wow.
that. Like he did a 180 on his life, and it was through learning how to code.
Yeah, so
Uh,
I don't know if I would go back to college. Maybe I would spend that time to learn new technologies. So go ahead. I don't know who wants to answer it.
Can I say a joke about this, or
yeah, do it. Come on.
Hey, sure.
where's your beers? So I think it's important the degree, because here in Brazil, if you go to jail and you have not degree, you you go with the other guys. But if you have a degree, you have a special cell for yourself. So it's cool.
When you're Brazilian, you have to think about the important stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So here in Mexico, you get taxed if you actually are a college graduate. In
Really?
order to
really?
get your degree, you get a tax, because if you have a degree, you make more money, right? But that's been proven to be false.
Whoa,
So-
that's crazy.
Some
Yeah.
people never actually, they finish college, they get a card that is called carta de pasante, which
Mhm.
means pass card, which
It
works the
means
same.
you
but
finish
you-
all the
you-
all the all the
But the
how
only
do you call
way
it? The
to
materias.
get actually your degree is you have to go to our, like, in the United States is the IRS. Here in Mexico it's called the SAT. You have to register that you graduated, and they're like, papi, money. And then you
Wow,
have to
man,
pay it.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, we have something like that because there's like, if you're a computer engineer, which is my case, some companies require you to have like a license. That's, I never use it for anything
it.
good. It's called CREA, and you have to
Mhm.
pay something every year. But yeah, oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
So-
strange because I had a boss. He was 24 years old in the time, and he hadn't a degree, but he was the boss, and he knew how to develop, and so good, so well. So degree is not so important besides the cell thing. If you
But
go to
in-
jail.
Yeah.
That's a good plus there in Brazil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So going back to the question, would you guys if you had a chance, go back in time, part, would you guys do college again?
I think I would, because like where I am right now, like I'm pretty happy like to be here and doing what I do and working with you guys and working a lot with Victor. But there is like another side. One of my closest friends, like one of the guys who I understand are one of the best developers I know, he dropped out. And he's awesome. So I think both options are good. If you can go to college, maybe it's a good idea. But if you can work straight away, maybe I think it works too.
I
Yeah,
would go back to.
at the end is
Oh, go ahead.
how you manage to use your own tools, right?
Yeah,
If you can have the college, you would have to use whatever you can from to learn something about it,
Yeah.
and just use it to your benefit. But sorry, Victor, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I would say I would go back because besides the technical skill I got on the college, there are some other important things I learned in there, like how to be an entrepreneur. I don't know if the word is that.
yeah,
Yeah,
And in other stuff, like I have like several different courses in there, not only development. So I got friends. I learned network and database and all the principles, the basic principles, which is awesome to learn in the college. These things perhaps you don't get when you study from yourself, because in this case you go straight to the point. Like you want to build an app, you Google it and you see the code, like, and some snippet of code, and copy and paste and it's done. But in college you learn something else. You learn the basics of it,
Yeah. You
at
learn
least.
like the structure that
Yeah.
you can build upon. So I agree with you. I agree with everybody, right? A pretty good friend of mine that I met in college, he dropped out. The best developer I know personally. He Before getting to his second year, he already was working with a Japan client. He went to Japan like 3 months, and he's like, "Yo, I don't need this. I already know everything. I'm gonna drop out." Cool. He already was pretty talented before even joining college. He started like at 12 years. Like that, I think it's 1% of the people.
Hmm.
But for me, I started to learn the basics, see how the computer worked, how physics worked, and it gave me, as you said, Victor, the fundamentals. And then from there, I was able to learn a lot of stuff by my own. But one thing that I have not been able to get, and that's why I recommend people to actually go to college, not really for example, here in Mexico, college can be pretty cheap or expensive. You have the option. I know in the United States, it's expensive even if it's cheap, right? So it depends really on the zone. But for me, networking, that's what college gave me. It gave
yeah,
me access to 200, 400 other developers that if I need to do another job that's outside of Zipdev, let's say, and I can get access to a Go developer, I can get access to a C developer because I studied with them. They became good friends. We went partying. I carried him when he was drunk, and he's like, if I call him, and I was like, yo, Luigi, help me out with this React project that I'm doing. He's like, yeah, man. That honestly, even working with Zipdev, gives me access to, let's say, 40 developers by working with them. College gave me 500.
Hmm.
Not only that, it gave me professors, which if you take advantage of that and you create relationships with your professors, which I feel people don't do enough, and get their WhatsApp number, you can shoot him a WhatsApp. Hey, I'm having this issue with this ML model. Who else is more qualified than a doctorate in machine learning? No
yeah,
one. So maybe the subset of knowledge is not the most updated and it's not the most used, and maybe you don't learn the best design patterns, but damn, you're not gonna get better and more qualified people there and in the future than going to those places. So that's my opinion, right? So personally, Najib, would go again and do it. Maybe not because of the knowledge subset, but because of the networking that you're able to create. So that's my opinion.
Yeah, the end is you have to get the best of both worlds, as Miley Cyrus said once. So yeah, I mean, and I actually remembered about Alfredo Pinto. If you remember, so he was a it was a really good Hoppy Hour we had with Alfredo Pinto,
Yeah.
which is he actually is working with Zipdev right now. He came back to work to Zipdev. So a shout out to Alfredo if he's here. He's a really good .NET developer, and he actually didn't went to college. And he knows a lot of developers. He actually has a like a .NET development group here in Baja California. So he's really dedicated to it. He's really good. But I mean, at the end is how you manage to go with it, right? Is how do you feel better to understand this world? And well, I don't know. Let's read the last comment, which is from Alberto Trujillo. Humberto Trujillo. It's he says, if you ever want to work in a different country, you'll need a college degree for the paperwork. That's true. That's true.
Very true.
So, I mean, that's another benefit from having the college degree. But again, it's not that you need it per se for working on development, but it's just a path you can take, right? Because I mean,
and
like we work for U.S. companies and we live on our countries, on our own countries, and I mean that's another option. So yeah.
Yeah, and shout out to Humberto Trujillo. Talking about networking, I met him in college. He was a guest here at Hoppy Hour for the VR and AR talk we had almost a year ago.
Yeah,
the first. So shout out
it was
Humberto.
Like the second or third Hoppy Hour we had.
And Humberto would know about working in other places because he went to Japan to work for a while. He was doing his master's degree. He went to Japan and started focusing on a way to interact with a three-dimensional plane via virtual reality. So very talented developer. Talk about networking. So shout out Humberto. Thanks for seeing the show.
Yeah, and some regards to you since you were here. We had a fun time like a year ago. So I think we're going to the end of this live. The time flew. I was not aware of that we were actually almost 1 hour from the beginning. So
oh wow.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Didn't see the time going. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're having fun.
Yeah.
Of course. I mean, thank you so much, Victor and Diego. You guys are awesome. I think you're really. I mean, the little time that I know you guys, you're really good persons. You're really. I don't know. I would like to know you in person, because let's hope we can do that in the near future.
Well, Luis, now we have an excuse to go to Rio and Sao Paulo.
Yeah, you guys have to visit us.
Hit the carnivals.
I mean February because the carnival.
Yeah, we can eat picanha and drink some Brazilian beers. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, count me in. I mean, it would be really rad, and maybe we can do a live Hoppy Hour from there. I don't know.
Oh, that would be cool.
Drinking
go to a brewery.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
And I think it's time up for the most important question of the show. Right, Luis? So what are you guys drinking?
Oh, I'm since this is the first episode in English, I bought my favorite American beer, Blue Moon.
Oh, that's good. It's good.
Yeah, I tried when I went to the US for work. I always tried a lot of them, but Blue Moon always was my favorite. Yeah.
Nice.
I'm drinking vodka or water. You never know.
Well, I'm drinking another American beer. I was thinking the same as Diego, as this is the first one in English. I wanted to do it drink in English. So it's a Lagunitas IPA from Lagunitas that is located in Petaluma, California, and Chicago, Illinois. So
Yeah, they're a little bit north from here, and I'm a nationalist, so drinking a Mexican ale. This is actually from Ensenada. This is a Veraniega from the Wetland Brewery, and this actually won in 2019 gold beer. So
Nice.
fancy. I'm a fancy guy.
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good one. So cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Years.
Well, thank you for being here, Victor and Diego. Thank you to our public also for being here and being part of this first episode in English. Let's hope we can continue doing this. I mean, it was a bit difficult to talk about everything, and it's not our native language, but we do what we can, and I think we nailed it. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah,
And
well,
if
it
this
was a lot of
continues-
fun. Thank you guys.
And let us know
Thanks.
down in the comments if you like the English setup. If you guys like it, we can bring more international guests. We're starting with Latin American, starting with Brazil, the tech giant of Latin America. That's what Forbes calls you guys, the sleeping tech giant. We might have a Romanian developer coming up next. So let's see what goes from here. But for
Nice.
now, we're sticking with Latin America. Thank you, Victor. Thank you, Diego. Any closing
Thank you
comments, please?
guys.
Nothing. Just wait for the next Hoppy Hour. I cannot say the date because we haven't decided it yet. So just wait for it on our next posts. And again, thank you for being here. And don't forget that we are on every platform. After this live, it's gonna be on YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcast, iTunes, whatever you want. So don't forget that if you want to listen to the previous ones that are in Spanish, you can do it by searching for the Hoppy Hour podcast, and that's it. Just thank you
And
again.
don't
for being
forget to follow us. Don't forget to follow us in all the platforms that you guys use. And remember, guys, comment. We try to answer all your questions, like and share. And yeah, see you in the next Hoppy Hour.
Yeah, see you. Thank you.
Everyone.
Thanks.
Bye.